to Kerrey.
Attorney General Reno, it's very nice to see you again. Thank you very much for coming and helping us try to figure this all out. Cofer Black, who was the head of the CTC for I think a couple of years, I think frames this whole thing very, very well when he says he's going to say it, and I'm going to say what he's going to say, which is I come here to tell you what we did, what we tried to do, and what we failed to do. And it's in the last area that I like to focus some attention, because I see three big failures, mistakes that were made both in the Clinton administration and in the Bush administration. The first is the failure to give the Department of Defense a leading role in dealing with terrorism. It wasn't in PDD 62, and it wasn't changed until after 9/11. The second had to do with allowing al-Qaeda to come inside the United States. I understand after 98, we knew that they were part of an Islamic army intending, and we saw on the 7th of August they had tremendous capability. We continued to allow them to come to the United States. We didn't put a full-scale effort on with consular offices and INS and FBI and all sorts of other people in the United States to try to prevent them from coming in to the United States. And the third is I still can't get my head into the idea that we were not at a high state alert on our airports on the 11th September. And I'd like to start with PDD 62, because I asked the same question to the President and President Clinton and National Security Advisor Berger. Do you have any recollections of PDD 62 and why the military was not given primary authority to wage the war against terrorism?
No, sir, I was not. I'm not part of the Security Council except as it's within my jurisdiction, and I don't recall that.
The PDD was not would not have been circulated through the Attorney General's office?
I think it was circulated through the Attorney General's office with respect to legal issues.
Talk to me about the second, then. The second item is also equally perplexing. I mean, al-Qaeda wasn't just a group of terrorists. They were part of an Islamic army called the Jihad against the people of the United States of America. Was there ever any discussions between you and the President, between you and the National Security Advisor, any internal discussions at all about saying, we can't let this army inside the United States and we've got to make certain that we don't, either through a consular office or INS or any other sort of point of weakness, allow them to penetrate our soil?
My conversations with Doris Meisner as Commissioner of INS were that she focused on the issue of how we build the database that gets the information with regards to terrorists. She found that working with the Joint Terrorism Task Forces and others were very important, but the problem was you had to get the information to her, and I think we failed there.
But it seems to me, though, it would have to occur at a cabinet meeting with the President saying, look, this is an army. We got to figure out how to keep that army out of the United States. Did that ever occur at any cabinet meeting?
I don't recall any cabinet meeting that addressed that.
Well, but help me with the last one, then. I didn't have time earlier to follow up, so in some ways this is not fair, because I'm treating you as if you're director-free.
It's quite fair. Go right ahead.
I didn't like his answer. He basically hid behind the Gore report. I mean, we didn't need the recommendations of the Gore report to be at a higher state of alert than we were. I mean, we were at ease on the 11th September. We were not prepared for a hijacking. How did that happen in your mind? I mean, you have significant authorities over the FBI, this thing could have happened in 2000 as easily as 2001. What did we miss? What happened that allowed us to be so relaxed on the 11th September in our airports?
I wasn't in office, so I can't.
No, I know, but we were just as relaxed as you were going out of office as we were on the 11th September. I mean, this attack could easily have happened on your watch. I mean, we were just as vulnerable while you were Attorney General as we were when John Ashcroft was Attorney General.
What I indicated to you and the Commission at the outset of this session were the issues that I think that we had to address at the Bureau. I gave my reasons for how they happened, what was necessary to address them, what had been done, what we could do to avoid it for the future. I think in the meantime, and I would also stress something that's very important, I think people feel that because there is a strategy in place now, because there is a war, because we have come to a war footing, that we are somehow or another, we don't have to have the heightened sense of urgency that we saw during the millennium, for example. Somebody said we couldn't have sustained the millennium pace. But if the situation is such that the reports that I've seen, and I have not been briefed on them, it's again what I've read in the papers, you have got to be prepared in the best of circumstances and with the best of strategy for the people to meet who are the principals and work together to get the job done. And if it takes night after night, our soldiers fight night after night and day after day, and we ought to be able to do it here.